Hello everybody. This is a short video that goes over a scene builder project called DrawLines, where I'm going to use NetBeans to create that application and launch that application. So we can start with File, New Project, select JavaFX and the JavaFX ML application, click on Next, and create my project name, and I can call it DrawLines. However, as you can see, I'm given an error because I already have a project called DrawLines. If I change the name and add an 1 to it, it should let me do it, or it should let me create that project, but I don't want to create it because it's already created. So let me go back over the DrawLines project that I have created and show you the 3 files and explain how to interact or how to have those files interact with each other. So I'm going to cancel out of this. So here is my DrawLines project, and if I open it up under my source package, I have my DrawLines, and these are the 3 files that are important to us. This is an example that I'm using from the book. So we have the fxml file, the DrawLines file, and the controller file. So this is the drawlines.java, and when I created my project name as DrawLines, NetBeans would use the same name to create my class. So public class DrawLines extends application. These are the import statements which brings in the additional libraries, and I would start off by creating a start method and passing the stage as a parameter. I created my first object called root, which associates my fxml loader and my resource. Now this is very important. This is the fxml document that you will use to launch this application called DrawLines. In your book, this one is called drawlines.fxml. Make sure that you change the name, since NetBeans by default declares the documents as fxml document. Now you can go around and change the name of these things, but much easier to understand. If you understand how the connection works, then it's much easier to go ahead and change the name of the file that is associated, that is going to be used to launch this DrawLines application. So I need to make sure my resource is connected to the correct file name. Then I created a scene. This is my scene object. This is my stage, and by using the method called setTitle, I'm passing whatever I would like to create over here. So draw first lines, or draw first scene builder lines, whatever you would like to call it. Setting scene, calling my show, and then I have a main method which launches my application. Let's go to the document controller. Now this document controller can also be seen if I double click my document fxml. I should launch this fxml document scene builder, and if I want to go to view and look at the controller skeleton, basically this is the skeleton which does not have anything. I do have this method associated called DrawLines button, but it doesn't have anything associated with it. Okay, so the book asks you to copy this code and paste it in this document, which is my document controller. Now again, document controller is the default name that NetBeans created for me. The book calls it the DrawLines controller. So within my DrawLines button pressed, I include these 3 lines of code, which creates an object called GC, and then use a stroke line to draw my lines 0, 0 starts off my XY coordinates. So basically this is the start and these two are where the line is going to end. So I want to go across the board. So I basically draw two lines, one from the top left to the bottom right and one from the bottom left to the top right hand corner. Let's look at my third file, which is my FX document. Now again, this is the file that you are going to be compiling and running, and this needs to associate correctly with the controller which is given by this border pane, and within that tag you have to make sure that your controller name is showing up correctly. So it's DrawLines.fxml document controller. Again, in the book the file is called DrawLine controller. You got to change the name. Second thing, make sure your canvas is associated with the canvas ID, and the button that you created, which is the DrawLine button, is associated with the correct method called DrawLines button pressed. You can also see this if you open it up. If I close this, this is my DrawLines button. So if I click on it, I should be able to see my action that is associated with this draw line. If I click on the canvas, it has its own ID called canvas. And all of these things could be set by the scene builder, or I can do it in the code right here. So what I had mentioned before, when you play with the scene builder, you can drag and drop a lot of these objects, create your scene, but behind the scene there are some codes, and this is the code that they're referring to. So making sure that my names are correct with my controller name, with my ID correct, and in my controller again I name it correctly. In my draw lines I associate my FXML correctly. At this point, if I come to this FXML, run it, it should compile, and that should create my FXML scene builder. Right now this is associated with an action event, and if it works correctly, if I press on it, I should be getting the lines being drawn. So let's click on it and the lines are drawn. Hopefully you should have no trouble executing your DrawLines or running your DrawLines application through NetBeans. Thank you.